1:15, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Danishka Madhavela and read by Niranjan Abesundara. Met Department has issued an advisory for strong winds and rough seas. The President advised the future generation to prioritize obtaining good education, respecting principles and not fearing challenges. He underscored the detrimental impact of leaders abandoning their responsibility during crises, stating that such action hinder a country's prosperity. Entrepreneurship circles will be set up around schools. A large crowd visited Anuradhapura for Posan Poya Day. Dharma Rashmi Posan zone will be concluded today. In world news, the Israeli army strapped wounded Palestinian to jeep. Sports news, Afghanistan shocked Australia to keep semi-final hopes alive. Issuing an advisory, the Met Department said the sea areas off the coast extending from Mannar to Chilla via Puttalam and from Hambantota to Pothuwil will be very rough at times with very strong gust of winds up to 200 kilometers per hour. The sea areas off the coast extending from Chilla to Hambantota via Colombo and Galle and from Trincomalee to Mannar via Mullaitivu and Kankasanture will be rough at times with strong gust of winds at 50 to 5 kilometers per hour. Wave heights may increase by about 2 to 25 centimeters in the sea areas of the coast extending from Kalpitiya to Pothuwil via Colombo, Galle and Hambantota. Naval and fishing communities are requested to be attentive in this regard. President Ranil Wickremesinghe advised the future generation to prioritize obtaining a good education, respecting principles and not fearing challenges. President shared advice on response to a question from a youth at the Batticaloa District Youth Representative meeting, drawing on his own experiences. The meeting chaired by the President Wickremesinghe took place yesterday at the Golden River Hotel in Batticaloa. Meanwhile, the President engaged in a meeting with the business community in Batticaloa District yesterday. Meanwhile, President Wickremesinghe underscored the detrimental impact of leaders abandoning their responsibilities during crises, stating that such actions hinder a country's prosperity. He also expressed concern over the potential consequences if he had not assumed leadership during a period of national turmoil. These remarks were delivered at a gathering of United National Party representatives held at the Batticaloa Municipal Council auditorium yesterday. Entrepreneurship circles will be set up around the schools. The Ministry of Education said that aim of the program is to develop entrepreneurial leadership from the schools. Entrepreneurship circles have already been set up around 400 schools at present, while 16,000 students actively engage in those circles. Support of the Ministry of Trade and Sri Lanka Industrial Development Board is being obtained in this regard. Minister Susan Premajayanta said the Entrepreneurship Development Project will be added to school circular. President Wickremesinghe visited a JUN church in Batticaloa yesterday to inspect the ongoing restoration work after it was damaged in the Easter Sunday bombing. During his visit, the President engaged in a discussion with the senior pastor of JUN Church, Reverend Roshan Mahesan. The President inquired about the delays in the renovation work and instructed officials to provide immediate report on the matter. President Wickremesinghe directed Senior Advisor on National Security and Chief of Presidential Staff, Sagar Ratnayaka, to ensure that the repairs are promptly completed using provisions from the Presidential Secretariat. Additionally, the President instructed Army Command to provide the support to Sri Lanka Army for the renovation. Governor of the Eastern Province, Senthil Tondaman, and State Minister S. Vyalendran was present on the occasion. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Anuradhapura District Secretary Janaka Jayasundara said that a large crowd visited Anuradhapura for Posan Poya Day. More than 1 million devotees visited Anuradhapura during the Posan Poya season. Posan Poya week will be held until tomorrow. People have commended the decision of the Minister Dr. Bandula Gulabadana for deploying a special train service for pilgrims to travel free of charge from Anuradhapura to Mihintale. The train will operate today as well. This year's Posan Festival is based on Mihintale and Anuradhapura, has attracted an extensive number of devotees from all parts of the island. Public hygiene and sanitary and water supply for pilgrims have been organized by the Municipal Council Anuradhapura. Dharma Rashmi Posan Zone will be included today. The Posan Zone was inaugurated under the patronage of the Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena on Friday. The Posan Zone is being held under the instruction of the Minister of Transport, Highways and Mass Media, Dr. Bandula Gunawardena. The Dharmarashtra Posan Zone spans 13 kilometers of the Homagam Regional Secretariat Division. That was local news.
The main news news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
A new circular will be issued tomorrow, the June 25th, to rectify shortcomings on the circular related to the admission of students to grade 1 of government schools and confirming equal access opportunities in education. The circular presented by Education Minister Silvia Majaj was approved by the Cabinet on June 20th. The new circular states that even if a child does not have a birth certificate, if there are documents confirming the acceptable age, that child should be included so that they do not suffer any injustice. Section 2.1 of circular states that though some admissible evidence, children who do not have a birth certificate are less than 5 years of age and produce an age certificate will not be treated unfairly or prejudiced. A spokesperson of the ministry said that several other amendments will be made rectifying the shortcoming of the previous circulars, taking into consideration various ideas and suggestions. According to the new circular, applicants cannot commit irregularities.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, the deadline for obtaining national identity cards for those individuals who are over 40 years of age have been extended till June 30th, stated the Department of Registration of Persons. Those who are unable to obtain national identity card due to issues with their birth certificate can obtain NIC till June 30th. That came to you in Watchlight. We move on to World News.
Coming up, World News.
Israeli army strapped wounded Palestinian to jeep. Russia launches massive attack on Ukrainian power grid. Arrests after yacht fireworks spark Greece forest ablaze. Israeli military has said its forces violated protocol by strapping a wounded Palestinian man to the front of their vehicle during a raid in the West Bank city of Jenin. Israel Defense Forces confirmed the incident after it was captured on video and shared on social media. An IDF statement said the man was wounded in an exchange of fire during the raid in which he was a suspect. Injured man's family said that when they asked for an ambulance, the army took him, strapped him to the bonnet of their jeep and drove off. The individual was eventually transferred to the Red for treatment. IDF said the incident would be investigated. Eyewitnesses speaking to Reuters news agency identified him as a local man and named him as Mohsin Zazmi. Ukrainian energy facilities have come under a massive attack from Russia in the latest onslaught targeting the country's power grid, officials say. It is the 8th time Russia has launched an attack on energy infrastructure facilities in the past 3 months, Ukraine's energy enemies said. Air defense system shot down 12 of 16 missiles and all 13 drones launched by Russia at several regions through the night, the Ukrainian Air Force said. Late on Saturday, officials in Kharkiv in northeastern Ukraine said 3 people were killed and at least 18 injured by Russian-guided bombs, with at least 4 explosions heard in the city. Overnight attacks on infrastructure wounded 2 energy workers in the central Zaporizhzhia region and damaged equipment in the western city of Lviv, officials said. In southwestern region of Ivano-Frankivsk, authorities also reported damage to houses and the kindergarten. 13 people have been arrested following a forest fire on the Greek island of Hydra. Authorities alleged were sparked by fireworks launched from a yacht. Friday's blaze burned through the only pine forest on the renowned tourist island, which lies south of Athens, officials wrote on Facebook. It has now been brought under control, but with difficulty. As there are no roads to the beach, firefighters had to access by sea, while helicopters dropped water from the air. In a statement on Saturday, the Greek Fire Service said 13 people were Greek citizens and would appear before prosecutors on Sunday. The statement did not mention the yacht. The cause of the fire has prompted outrage in Greece, which is already battling several wildfires and is in the grip of its first heat wave of the year. Back to the headlines of the world news. Israeli army strapped wounded Palestinian to a jeep. Russia launches massive attack on Ukrainian power grid. Arrest after yacht fireworks sparked Greece forest ablaze. That was world news.
Development News.
Department of Census Statistics say that Sri Lanka recorded an economic growth rate of 5.3% in the first quarter of 2024. The department said in a statement that the industrial sector alone had grown by 11.8%. Department says Sri Lanka recorded negative growth earlier and the current achievement raised hopes for the country. Department said the World Bank has projected an overall growth rate of 2.2% for Sri Lanka this year. The International Monetary Fund recently completed the second review of its program with Sri Lanka to unlock $236 million for Sri Lanka.
Moving on with sports news.
Afghanistan shocked Australia to keep their T20 World Cup hopes alive with an historic 21-run win in St. Vincent. Leading a victory avoids elimination, Afghanistan posed 148 for 6 on a challenging surface on the back of a superb opening stand of 118 between Ramadullah Gurbaz and Ibrahim Zadran. They quickly reduced Australia to 32 for 3 in a chase, but Glenn Maxwell's 35-ball half-century recovered the situation for the 2021 champions. But just when Australia seemed to have the advantage, Gulbuddin Naib removed Marcus Stoinis and Tim David before claiming the prize scalp of Maxwell. From there, Australia collapsed from 106 to 113 for 9. Afghanistan sealed the win, their first over Australia in any form of cricket in the final over. That was sports news.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීත හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The National Engineering Research and Development Centre celebrates its 50th anniversary this year. A stall is arranged to showcase the civil engineering consultancies, products and technologies developed by the NERD Centre at the International Industry Expo 2024, which ends today. It is the right place for people seeking innovative solutions or expect insights. Ceremonial inauguration of Day 2 was by State Minister of Technology Kanaka Herath, who honoured the NERD Centre by launching several innovative products such as Pure Cinewave Invertive, Electrive 3-wheel wheeler and also electronic scale, elephant fence energizer developed by the NERD Centre. That was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීත හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On economic news, research from the Peradeniya University revealed that by the year 2050, around 1/4 of the population of the country will be elderly people. Professor of the Economic and Statistics Unit at the Peradeniya University, Vasantha Atakurala, said that number of people who are older than 65 years of age in the country at present is 18%. According to the data in 1971, percentage of 6.3. The professor pointed out that the early population in the country will be 27.6% by the year 2050. That was economic news.
Weather report.
Showers will occur at times the western, Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces in the Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matara districts. While heavy showers, 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in Kandy, Nuwara and Puttalam districts. So the spells of light showers will occur in the northern province and in the Matara and Lalapura districts. That was the weather report, and back to the headlines of the news. The Met Department has issued an advisory for strong winds and rough seas. President advised the future generation to prioritize obtaining a good education, respecting principles and not fearing challenges. He underscored the detrimental impact of leaders abandoning their responsibilities during crises, stating such actions hinder a country's prosperity. Entrepreneurship circles will be set up around the schools. A large crowd visited Anuradhapura for Posan Poya Day. The Maharashtra Posam zone will be concluded today. In world news, the Israeli army strapped wounded Palestinian to a jeep. In sports news, Afghanistan shocked Australia to keep semi-final hopes alive. And with that, we end the afternoon news broadcast from Radio Sri Lanka, time 1:30.